He was never good.
Speaking
Never
of,
been good.
Goodness.
Speaking of, we kick off this Thursday morning with LeBron James and yet another new-look Lakers team. The main critique after they retooled their roster, age. LeBron James calls it veteran leadership. Whatever you call it, the Lakers could have 8 guys on the opening night roster aged 32 or older, prompting this since-deleted tweet from LeBron last night. Keep talking about my squad. Our personnel ages, the way he plays, he stays injured, past our time in this league, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do me one favor, please, and I mean please, keep that same narrative energy when it begins. That's all I ask. Hashtag thank you. All right, Nick Wright, start with you, buddy. What do you make of this from LeBron?
Oh, that's right. You talking about that's right.
What I make, yeah.
Hear you over there.
I am talking about that's right. Yeah, I mean, you're supposed to hear me, mic'd up, talking to you guys and to America, because LeBron's talking to you guys and to America, because LeBron knows, he's acutely aware of how his career has been covered. And for people that don't remember it or know, here's what happens. Folks explain why a LeBron James team is flawed, can't get it done, won't win the title, and then when they do end up winning the title, they then say, well, of course they did. That was an unbeatable super team. I mean, he stacked the deck. What did you expect? This has happened time and time again, which is why LeBron says, keep the same narrative energy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll do it quickly. 2012. They had just lost to the Mavs. They were down 3-2 to the Celtics. You got to break up the big three. This was never going to work. And then he does the 45-15-5. They beat KD, Russ, and Harden in the finals. And now historically, we look back on it, well, that was a super team. Of course they won the title. Should have won more titles. 2016. The Warriors are the greatest regular season team ever. Steph Curry is the unanimous MVP. And the question is, well, LeBron went back to Cleveland. But unfortunately, he's never going to win a championship there. And then they come back from 3-1 down, and the narrative is this. Well, that Warriors team actually wasn't that good. They needed Kevin Durant. They had to have him. Like, come on, they shouldn't even won in 2015. And then go forward, 2018. Kyrie leaves. That Cavs team makes multiple midseason trades. And the narrative was not only, I think they could lose in round 1 to Indiana, but the Celtics with home court in the Eastern Conference Finals, clear favorites. And then, of course, LeBron comes back from 3-2 down with back-to-back brilliant games, playing 95 of 96 minutes. And the narrative was, the Celtics too young. Come on, those baby Celtics. Tatum, they never could really win. And then up to and including his championship with the Lakers. Oh, my God, they gave up too much for AD. What's AD ever won? How are they going to defend? LeBron's there to make movies. He's there to make his wife and kids happy. He's not worried about championships. And then they win it. And, well, of course they won it. That's a super team. I mean, it's kind of unfair the way he stacked that deck. So now it's happening again. It's happening again. People are going to get it both ways, Brandon. They're going to get to have their fun before the year starts, saying how bad the team will be, no shooting, old, geriatric. And then if and when they win, they'll be like, well,
some of those
5
questions?
Hall of Famers. LeBron, AD, Russ, Melo, Dwight, of course, most stacked team ever. So he's just asking you to pick a lane. Pick the lane. Is this a great team that is supposed to win? Or is this a flawed, old, bad shooting team that if they do win, will deserve massive credit for being the underdog story that they are? That's the question.
Bravo, Nick. Bravo.
Well, thank you. Just a history lesson.
That's not... we don't need the history lesson. Here's the deal. America, it all comes down to what have you done for me lately? Last year, everybody was talking about the Lakers running it back. Everybody. It doesn't matter. In a national football league, in the NBA and soccer and tennis, nobody cares about what you did, 2 years ago or even a month ago for that matter. Look, LeBron, I love you. I'm never going to talk bad about you. You're a kid from Akron, Ohio. The Space Jam 2. Some people are like, bad movie. He was okay as an actor. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, Space Jam New Legacy. There you go. You're a kid from Akron, Ohio on the big screen. You're not supposed to be there. We should be celebrating you. But at the end of the day, you have to validate people's feelings. And this is reminiscent of the 2003, 2004 Lakers. This is what this is. Oh, Nick, yesterday, but they made it to the finals. Nobody talks about them. They made it to the finals and lost. That's what's going to happen this year. Look, let's say the big 3-day jail. All right, biggest question mark is really Westbrook and LeBron. Who's going to bring the ball up court? Who's going to be the point guard? Who's going to get them into their sets? Okay, let's say LeBron is the one that makes those concessions. Okay, let's say Westbrook. Okay, all right, and then you got Nunn, you got Wellington, you got Tucker, you got all these guys coming in. They can shoot the ball. Carmelo Anthony, they're hot. They're one of the best teams from the perimeter shooting the ball. But guess what? The biggest question mark that you guys have, and you're gonna love this, you're gonna appreciate this, Nick, because we talked about it all last year during the NBA season. Defense. Yeah. Defense is the problem.
You got Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Defense, what makes the Lakers great? No, Anthony Davis and LeBron. 2019, what made them great was they played spectacular on both ends of the court. Okay? Last year, they're one of the top defenses. Now you have liabilities. None. Liability. All the guys that you brought in, the 7 guys that you brought in from free agency, all the guys, Bazemore is the only one that can play. But you got your rotation. You got to solidify the rotation. So the problem right now is solidifying the defense. Yes, you got AD and LeBron, but outside of that, who's going to step up and get some stops? Who? Let me know.
Well, I think AD and LeBron, Wilds, that's enough to be a really good defense. You have the best defensive big man in basketball, and LeBron, who was first-team All-NBA caliber defense last year. Personally, Wilds, I think that's enough. But Wilds, you know LeBron was talking to you, right? You should be able to respond. Yes. No, yes. Okay. He's asking you to keep the same narrative energy.
I will not.
Yeah.
I will not keep the same energy for a few reasons. One, motivational speakers get paid a lot of money, and LeBron is looking for motivation. And I will keep the same energy, but I will invoice him for this. Because Tom Brady had Julian Edelman yelling at him on the sidelines, "You're too old," to motivate Tom Brady. But I am not going to be. No, you know what? I'm going to change that. I will be Hall of Famer Julian Edelman for LeBron to try to motivate him. Because here's the thing: LeBron wants to be motivated for everything. It's not just about old. So I went through sort of like point by point to sort of see what LeBron was saying. Is he right? Is he wrong? So the first one he says, keep talking about us. So I'm like, all right, let's see like the chatter around the Lakers roster. And I pulled up a Google's trend and I was like, yeah, you're right. Once free agency opened, boom. The Google searches for Lakers roster was right. So, okay. They said, keep talking about our ages. All right. Well, the average age of the team is 31.8, would be the oldest team of all time. All right, talk about the way he plays. All right, well, that's a shot at Russ. Yeah. Well, we know that Russ is the worst high-volume shooter of all time, and he's the 6th worst shooter last year. Actually, 7th. I'm sorry, I want to be accurate. Then stays injured. Who's that talking about? Oh, that's AD. Here's the list of AD injuries. The groin, the knee, the shoulder, the calf, the Achilles, the quad, the back. That was all since January 2021. That wasn't a career injury list. That was since January. And then he says, oh, they're past our prime. So I looked that up. And I'm like, okay, is that fair? Melo was a scoring champ in 2012. Gasol was an all-star in 2017. Dwight was defensive player in 2011. And Ariza won a championship in 2009. And poor LeBron has had his last 2 years, 2 of the last 3 years have been marred by injury.
All that what happened in the middle?
I'm okay with
those 3 years.
They won a championship. It was good. I'm okay with that. You know why he won the championship?
The pandemic struck.
You do know why he won the championship? No, it's not the pandemic. No, because I think that was better. I think I give him extra credit for winning in the bubble. I don't take that away from him. Because he brought out the Washed King. Because he was like, you know what? Washed King. Everyone's calling me a Washed King. That's when it started. Washed King started in November 2019. He ended up winning the championship. And no one dug into it. It was like, Washed King, who's calling you the Washed King? Turns out, Nick, who was calling him the Washed King? Nobody. Nobody. He just made it up. It's a great marketing ploy, and it motivated himself to a championship. So LeBron is looking for motivation. He's not talking about the haters. He's not talking about your old buddy Kevin Wilde. He's talking to the man in the mirror, and I think it's a savvy strategy that he's looking for motivation.
But I'm not a hater if I point out
Yeah,
the facts that, you know, the Lakers roster is a little flawed.
Okay, well, no. So, but you are that, and it's fine. Just lean into it, Wild. It's an unbelievable thing to be like 2 of the last 3 years got hurt and just gloss over, unless I drill down on it, what happened in the middle, which was a whole 10 months ago, which was they won the championship. They never were threatened after folks, I'm not going to name names, but folks on this show were like Blazers. Oh, gauntlet, death.
Well, I thought
what are they going to do? It all happened. It all happened.
Yep.
And what did LeBron